Joining us back once again, catch him at the silverandblackpride.com. Also, one half of the Tape Don't Lie podcast. Rory's favorite show to masturbate to. Name's Marcus Johnson. Joining us now. How you doing, Marcus?
Good, guys. How you guys doing, man?
Awesome. 4-2.
Whatever.
4-2, yeah.
Great
Right?
place to be.
Fuck you, Rory.
So the Raiders
Okay.
came off a week where Jon Gruden got torpedoed. New interim head coach. New offensive coordinator, the emotions of not only losing your coach, but the emotions of, Carl Nassib, the black players, whoever, who maybe took Jon Gruden's comments. They had to deal with that. Did they overcome all that in a heroic effort and display of team unity and love, or did the Broncos just suck balls?
I think it was a little bit of them overcoming it with effort. I think the Broncos suck ass on offense. Yeah. I would say that they suck ass on offense, but I was talking about this on my show too. I think the Broncos defense was so good that if they were bad, the Raiders would have put a 50 on them. So I think that they were good enough to keep them down to 30, because there were some plays that they just made plays like just because they're a good defense and they kind of, could stop the Raiders at some points, but it was just like an onslaught, because more of it was because they had no idea what Greg Olsen was going to do. And he added a bunch of new stuff. So they really had no chance, to be honest. Because it was basically like playing a brand new team week one. They had no idea, and Greg Olsen was just messing with them. So everything that you probably would have thought it was something different. So that's why they kind of just went in there and kind of bulldozed them, and that's why I kind of feel like it's going to be a little bit, little bit of time before somebody figures out what Greg Olsen's trying to do. So
how different is Greg Olsen's offense to Jon Gruden's offense with the Raiders?
I think he's just more creative.
Okay.
I think he's more modern, I would say. I would say he's a little bit more modern in his thought process of calling plays and how I call plays. Like you see, like Derek Carr talked about after the game, how Olsen was getting the plays in really quick, right? And so he can get to the line. And if you notice, they scored points really fast. It wasn't like the kind of the slow ball control type of thing. They wait till 1 second, Derek Carr was checking the line and still getting the ball off with 10 seconds left. So they were scoring really fast. And they had a lot more tempo too, so it was a little bit more modern offense, I would say. And then, one thing that Olsen did that was really smart is that he would just run Gruden's like designs or his plays, but then add something to it. So you would think, okay, like Gruden's been running the same plays for years, so that's kind of this is the look. All right, 3-by-1. I'm probably gonna get a choice route from Waller and then like an out route from something. But then no, it's not a choice route. It's a out and up, and then you're like, oh crap, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like some of the stuff that he was doing, and that's what I'm saying. It's gonna take a while for some people to pick up on that.
Well, yeah, Carr was saying that he got a play, but he had full autonomy to change into any play he wanted, as opposed to Gruden gives you a couple of plays and you pick from one of these two plays.
Yeah,
that's almost like Peyton Manning-esque, like he had Moore or Christensen was his offensive coordinators, and they would just like throw out concepts, and he would pick the play. And how can you game plan for that? How can you have a tendency? How can you get patterns when Carr's out there? I said earlier, Gruden is not using his best weapon offensively, which is Carr's brain, and how he can process the information that he sees pre-snap.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think that's a good something to point out, because if Carr has more time to change plays, he doesn't have to rush to change plays either. So it's not like a rush, because I'm telling you, they used to do the slow ball control. It didn't matter if they were down, if they were up, they were a slow ball control team. They had no rush. There's so many times like in 2019, they're like down like 10, 15 points. You're like, what the hell are they doing? Like, why are they moving? The Bears game pissed me off because they're down 17 to 14 to 3, 17 to 3 or whatever. And they did like an 8-minute drive. I'm like, bro, you're down 14 to 3. So you're not going to see that type of stuff from Olsen. I think that's kind of the difference. And I liked what he did with the run game too. He just kind of changed the whole run game itself. So I really like that too.
I got a little wet over Foster Moreau's block on the goal line on the Jai Jacobs run. I talked about that for so long, and I'm like broke it down like an offensive lineman. These guys are falling asleep, and I'm like, you guys don't understand how fucking dope that shit was. That's not easy. He got crossed by the linebacker. That's a no on a counter. You can't let that guy cross your face. And he flipped around, and man, that was a nice drive. He opened that hole up nice. A great job by Foster Moreau.
I think passing on first down, play action on first down. There was a little bit more of a commitment to the run, but we don't know if that was because we were up pretty early in the game. I don't know if that was part of the game plan. But honestly, man, the play action on first down, we've been crying out for it for so long. You know, it's so obvious because Gruden's tendency was always to run on that first down. And I think that was a huge difference.
A huge difference. You know, and you know, back to the run game, I thought they switched it up. They did a lot more counters. So, you know, they got John Simpson on the move, pulling a lot more. So you saw like on the touchdown that you know, Soto was talking about, when he comes around, I mean, him and Colton Miller come around together. And then Foster Moreau is crossing their face, so then it creates a big hole, and then that team's never seen that before, right? So it's a lot of things like that. I mean, the play action on first down was a big one for me too. You know, they did a lot of more play action on first down, a lot more passing. What I like too is that, you know, this team has been like a deep passing team all year. They've been, you know, dependent on the explosiveness, and they kind of got like a little redundant with it. So when the Chargers and the Bears came, they're like, okay, we're just gonna drop back. And then, you know, Gruden really didn't adjust. So what I liked about this game too is that they made them come up a little bit. So if you notice in like the first, I mean, the Ruggs one was kind of the main one that they did early on, but after that, they didn't really throw deep that much, right? They kind of set everything up. They ran a little bit. They ran a lot more than they usually do. And then it just was a barrage after that. Then you weren't ready. Then you came up, and then like this boom, 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 boom over your head. So I like the setup. It was, like I said, it's just modern. It was just more modern, I guess, right?
Well, that first pass, the first drive, the first pass told me a lot about that this was going to be a different offense.
Yeah.
Usually when Gruden, he doesn't like running, he doesn't like throwing on the first down, right? He's run, pass, right? Or if he would throw, it would be a deep shot. Like, oh, I'm just going to show you this. Dude, it was like a 5-yard little stop by Ruggs. Yeah. They're going to give him the cushion. What's the difference? You get a 5-yard little stop route or a 5-yard run. What's the fucking difference? That's just as good as a handoff. You use his speed. He gets 4 more yards. Now you have freaking 2nd and 1. So that right there, what Gruden would never have done that.
Yeah.
And it just showed that, and I said this in the postgame show as well, like Gruden seemed to attack defenses with specific play calls. It seems like Olsen and Carr are trying to get favorable matchups and exploiting the matchups as opposed to throwing a play at you and having the play make the play as opposed to the player.
Oh, 100%. I 100% agree with that. That's it basically kind of just set, like I said, everything's a setup. You mean like the Kenyon Drake touchdown was set up on the first play of that drive. I mean, there's a halfback choice, a little out route, and then the guy bit on it, right? And then next thing you know, and later on the drive, it's the same look, but he's going up now, and then it's a touchdown. So like that's building on plays, man. And you know, we just weren't seeing stuff like that.
That was sad, man. That linebacker didn't even know the ball was in the air, and then he's looking, he's like, "Whoa, Drake's back there! What the fuck?" And he was gone.
That was a beautiful ball too.
Yes,
like the perfect touch, just floated in stride. Oh, it was pretty.
It really was. Can I just say the announcer, by the way, did you guys catch that? The announcer was like, "Yeah, it's kind of a shitty pass." What?
What
the fuck are you watching?
What?
Crazy.
It's kind of weird though, right? Like, because we're talking about like, oh my god, this offense improved so much. It's like Carr led the league in yards after 3 weeks. Like this offense was playing lights out, like unbelievable after 3 weeks, and we're like, oh, it's so much better now. Gruden was holding us back. How? Like, explain that to me, Marcus. Like, was Gruden holding us back? Is it different and better, or just different and different? Is this sustainable? Is it just, oh, Olsen's in there, it's a weird curveball for a shitty team, it'll come back to earth? Like, what do you make of this whole situation without Gruden and with Olsen now?
I think Gruden, his personnel that he built kind of outgrew him. I think like when you add like Henry Ruggs and you add Brian Edwards, it's obviously a deep threat. I mean, he didn't come in the league as a deep threat, but I mean, he's obviously a deep threat at this point to us, right? So his personnel kind of outgrew him, and Gruden doesn't have that many like deep concepts. So what we saw was basically the same ones over and over and over and over again. Yeah. And like, you know, and teams started to catch on. So like by the time we got to week 4 and week 5, I mean, you have the same tape on. You run the same wheel and post over and over again, wheel and post, and then wheel and post, and then 4 verticals, and then it seems like, okay, if Henry Ruggs he's coming on a jet motion, they're probably going to run 4 verticals. We know that's what's going to happen. What kind of I feel like happened to him. I think the personnel kind of outgrew him, where he had to start throwing deep more, and he never was a deep guy. I mean, even when he his first time here, I mean, that was kind of the gripe that a lot of Raiders fans had with him, that he didn't throw deep. So that's just something that he just doesn't have in him, to have a lot of deep passing concepts. So when you have Henry Ruggs, who's obviously grown and he's ready to take that next step, you can't get him open because you don't have the concepts for it.
It's funny because Soto always said that it's Derek Carr's fault for not going deep. Like, he always blamed Derek Carr because he hates Derek Carr. But you're telling me it's Gruden. I don't know, because you're really smart, Soto, but I know Marcus is smart too. So I don't know what to make here. It's very confusing, Soto, that it was Carr's
so here
fault.
we go.
You always said it was Carr's fault. Marcus is saying that the play design was. I don't know what to think here. It's like seeing Dad after he shaved his beard with you, Soto. I don't recognize you.
Yeah,
I cleared up for you. So I never said throwing deep. I say push the ball down the field. Like, you could push the ball down the field without throwing 20, 25 yards down the field.
That's very true.
What I said was there were guys open down the field that Carr wouldn't look at. After his initial receiver was covered, he would just then check down. When if he would what he's doing this year is he's starting deep and then progressing back to a check down, as opposed to going to the check down first and not even looking deep. So that's the difference. And as far as Bryan Edwards goes, do you guys know that he was the third fastest ball carrier in the league last week? 21 miles an hour. Yeah, he's not our speed guy. He's not our speed guy. At South Carolina, he was the jump ball guy. He wasn't a speed guy. And it's like, if not our speed guy can be the third fastest ball carrier any given week in the NFL, like, shit, man, that guy's going to be some problems when he gets it all together.
Yeah. And actually, I agree with what Soto saying. What I agree with the Soto saying, because I think the difference between Carr this year and last year is that he's anticipating like crazy. Like, it's like a natural thing at this point. So, which something that we haven't seen from him in a really long time. And, you can't hit tight windows. You can't hit the intermediate part of the game if you're late, right? So he's a smart guy. He knows if he's late, so he's going to check it down. But now he's not being late, so he's throwing the ball early enough to get those passes off. I mean, the one play that showed me that the most when against the Dolphins, when Darren Waller is 3rd and 13, and he throws like a 29-yard pass, and Darren Waller was not open, but the window was, so he threw it to the window, and Darren Waller got there, and 29 yards, 3rd and 13 conversion. So that's the big difference between him this year and years before. Even though he sometimes, I'll tell you, I think he's like. He kind of came back to life a little bit last week, but I think before, I think he was trying too much to be aggressive. So he's passing up some things that maybe he would have took before, and he was throwing too deep, a little too much. And the deep ball is like a 3-point shot. So if you're like, sometimes Steph Curry's going to go 1 for 10. Sometimes Derek Carr, even though he's a good deep ball thrower, he's going to go 1 for 8. It's just the way it is with deep balls. So, but anyways,
about Darren Waller. He came in, 19 targets in the first week. Right? It's like, all right, this is I was like, okay, that's our offense, and I'm fine with it. Darren Waller, throw it to him 30 times a game. Like, until you stop it, we'll throw to Darren Waller every single time, right? 19 targets out of the gate, only 34 in the 5 games since. Is there a regression in Darren Waller, or is this just kind of the offense is just not going to be revolving around him like it used to?
Well, I think one of them, Henry Ruggs has stepped up a lot. I think Henry Ruggs, him and Carr have a little bit of a connection. I think they're a little bit. I think they're a little closer than they've been joking around like the past couple weeks. I don't know. Out of Gruden left, and now they're best friends. I don't know what that's about, but it's weird, right? I don't think Derek
doesn't like to be single very long.
I guess not. But I think
you're a monogamist.
Yeah, he stacks them up like hoe cakes, bro. He just stacks them up. If you eat the top one, and there's a new top one. You know what I'm saying?
So, because they have a little bit of a thing where like Carr feels like he can just throw it up to him and Ruggs gonna make a play for him, and he anticipates a lot with Ruggs more than he does with other players. But I think what's happening with Darren Waller is he has to chip block a lot, and so we're seeing him getting taken out of the game because we don't have a right tackle. So he's having the chip block, and then he's got the little check down route. And, Carr's not checking down this year, so he's just kind of out of the game. And then he's like, it's happening over and over again, and it's not something that is going to help this team unless they fix the right tackle. So that's why you see like DJ Fluker come in. So they probably had that thought process because one, Darren Waller's not getting double teamed anymore now. So we're going into week 7 and nobody's double teaming him anymore. So that's kind of been taken away. There's no brackets. There's no so that's why it is time to get him back in the game. And that's why we saw him on the post route, like he was one-on-one. Like that would not have happened in week 2. Right?
Yeah.
So that has opened him up that way. So hopefully going forward, we still see some more from him. But they got to fix that right tackle spot, or he's got to keep chip blocking, and then he's got to be a little check down guy. And it took him Renfro out of the game a lot of this week too, because he had the chip block too, and because they were really chip blocking this week. It wasn't like the weeks before. They were chip blocking Von Miller like crazy.
Well, yeah, I would say is Von Miller had no idea where it came from. It was either a wide receiver motioning down, it was the back, or it was a tight end. And sometimes they would just run right past him, and he's like, "Oh shit, I thought he was going to chip me," and then another guy gets him. It's like it was genius how they did it.
Yeah, so
it was masterful. It was legit masterful.
Which one of y'all kicked me? Those things.
A couple of crazy stats just to highlight.
Yeah.
Especially since we have such an offensive line that really struggles with pass blocking, especially on the right side. So Ruggs is averaging 22.25 yards per catch, best in the league among players with double-digit catches. Brian Edwards, surprisingly, is averaging 20.2 yards per catch, third in the league. And then Derek Carr on throws of 20-plus yards or more is currently tied for first in the league with 18 completions, is first in the league on his own for 603 yards, and has whatever PFF would quantify as a big-time throw, is first in the league on big-time throws as well.
Same thing, Marcus. PFF.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever, right? Whatever that means.
Just use the stats. Don't use some of the other stats.
Yeah, exactly. It's with a
He's
big
fourth in big dick throws. Like it's really special. Like it's the big dick throws, 2 C's, 4. Yeah. Just behind Nick Foles, who's 1, 2, and 3. You know what I mean?
Big Dick Nick, getting it done.
The narrative is that we can't protect the passer, but he's having the best year of his career in terms of throwing deep, which is it's masterful.
Yeah, but that's what I was talking about. I think they got a little too crazy with it. I think this week it was more timely. I think that's what it has to be. Yeah, you're a deep passing team, but you just can't come out and just 4 verts and then 4 verts. You know what I mean? Like it's just not going to work. So that's why you saw the first 3 weeks. Yeah, that was working because people probably were like, okay, there's Derek Carr, short passing team, Jon Gruden. They don't throw deep a lot. And then you're getting killed over the top. And then here come the Chargers and here come the Bears. And they're like, you're not going to do that. And they didn't adjust. And then we saw a little bit of an adjustment this week. So I think they want to attack. They're going to keep attacking. They're going to keep trying to throw the ball deep. But I think it's going to be more calculated now. It's going to be more calculated.
The word I used was their offense is more fluid now.
Yeah.
It's more fluid. They're still going to attack, but they're not going to be stubborn like the old regime and just keep running the same shit over and over and over again, hoping that, this play is going to work. I'll draw it up this way. And, they ran a lot out of passing formations too, which is going to help. I know that the offensive line hasn't really been all that great run blocking, but, just fooling the defense into thinking, hey, we're going to pass this play. And, you got a running back coming at you. Any little bit helps.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, it was just a way better performance, man. But get back to what you say, RJ. You asked what it's gonna look like going forward, and that's what I was saying earlier. I don't know if teams are gonna be able to catch on quickly, especially until maybe week 12. You probably find a team that's gonna be okay, there's enough tape out there to figure out what Greg Olson's gonna do. But then Olson might just go back, start doing the old stuff. So that that's kind of what I liked about what he's doing. It makes teams think about something else, but then they can come back and go back to the old stuff once teams start thinking about the new stuff. So that I think that's kind of the adjustment itself.
We should just fire our coach every 6 games. Just keep everybody guessing. Just constant circular. Just nobody knows. Just go.
Man, just
cycling.
Yeah, just change OCs every 6 weeks.
Time. No one will know what's coming, right?
We'll just link some more emails.
So we're recording this Wednesday night. So I don't know if you've done your Eagles tape study yet, but obviously Eagles coming up on Sunday, leading into the bye week. 2-4 Eagles. We're moving into kind of the soft-ish part of our schedule. This could be a really great spot for us. Again, I don't know how much you've had a chance to research.
I hate saying that, dude.
But it's true. It's true. What do you see us offensively being able to take advantage of the Eagles defensively?
I think the Eagles are they're just like a team that's kind of like us. They just play too high. They really don't do anything super creative. Mm-hmm. So since they don't do anything super creative, that's why I expect the Raiders to be able to move the football on them. And I don't know about how many big plays they're going to get on them. I think they'll figure out a way to do that. But I think early on, I think this would be the type of game to see more Darren Waller, because they don't have any linebackers. They don't have any linebackers. Their safeties are cool. I mean, they're all right, but I think their best players are on the defensive line and their corners. So I mean, Darius Slay is no joke. I mean, he's not Darius Slay from 2017, but he's still Darius Slay. Right, that's like we have Casey Hayward. He's not Casey Hayward in 2017. He's still Casey Hayward.
He's still damn good, yeah.
Yeah,
better. Like, maybe he's better. Like,
I mean,
dude, he's shutting everyone down. Like,
I know, but you know what I mean. Like Darius Slay is the same way. So Darius Slay, he's going to give those receivers everything they got, and they're going to have to a little bit to deal with outside. But I mean, that's what you hit the inside. It takes a lot of Renfro to be a lot of zone against them. I think Greg Olsen's pretty good against zone too from his history. So we're going to see a lot more concepts kind of open up, and hit those linebackers in between it and kind of do more things like that. I'm because the Eagles on offense are not anything to be like scared of.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of feel good about this game, because I don't think they're going to be able to score points. And I think this offense is going to be a lot better than it was before. And they'll be able to, move the football. And then, the Eagles are a pass first team with running back type of players. So,
that's what the Raiders put. Like, they really don't have an identity. Like, they're kind of stuck in the middle.
I don't know what their identity is. I think they came into the season thinking Jalen Hurts is a pocket passer, because he's really good. He's a really good guy on the board. He can fool you in the summer. He could go in there and practice. He could put right on the board. He's a smart guy. He can pick things up. But once the bullets start firing for real, and you really got to hang in the pocket, he's bailing. So
yeah, he's happy feet.
Yeah, he's got happy feet. He's bailing. So I think that's going to be something good for the Raiders. They're going to be able to stop them a lot, I think. And I think the offense will be able to move the football on them, but we'll see. I mean, it's all about them showing up. But I think that, some of it, I always feel like we're bashing on Gruden since he left, but it is what it is. But I think the little bit of the show is gone, right? So I mean, you heard Jacobs say some comments about that, basically, like the guy yelling, trying to make TV, all the type of stuff. The show is gone, so that's why I expect the team to be a little bit more prepared and ready to go, because there's not so much bull crap going on and no quotables and whatever. So we'll see. Though they's got to show up. I mean, they're still the Raiders. So
right. Yeah, we'll see. That's why I say don't count your dubs. Don't count your dubs too early, guys.
I mean, they gotta
you can
up,
hype
right?
up the Raiders for 45 minutes and how great they are. Greg Olsen's going nuts. Darren Waller's the man. Derek Carr's super smart. Just end it with, but they're still the Raiders.
Right? At home as well. Like,
you're right. Wait till we're 6-3, and then what's going to happen, right? Like,
I don't know. Yeah, man. So
we got to perform at home, man. It's about time Allegiant kind of reclaims its place as our home stadium as opposed to the fucking away fans. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we've got to perform at home, and we can't have penalties stopping the momentum, stopping the crowd noise, all that sort of shit has to win.
Yeah.
It needs to be a statement game.
Yeah, it's tough though in Vegas, man. I mean, those people came out of nowhere. They come from everywhere. They just that's like their vacation, especially from Philly. People from I've never been to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like, you're looking at away games for your, if you're like the Cleveland Browns and you're just like, oh shit, we're in Vegas. Like, circle that one on the calendar. I'll pay $400 for those tickets. Nah, no problem. It's a vacation. No big deal.
Exactly.
And me, Soto, and Rory are like donating kidneys, trying to get a decent seat to go to our own team.
Yeah.
Imagine the street fights this week in Vegas. Fucking Philly fans out there.
I don't know, man. These Vegas fans are soft, bro. Like, I went to one of those games, man. They're soft, bro. I don't know, bro. I didn't hear any Raiders chants after the Dolphins game. I was upset.
Oh man,
they're new.
Whoa,
they're new. They're not used to it. You know what I mean?
Step it up, let Vegas step it up.
There's got to be one guy like in a Dolphins fan's face saying screaming Raiders. At least one guy, though. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, that one dude. Yeah, he was from Oakland, though. He was from Oakland.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys had people at the Broncos game in Denver. Apparently, there was fights galore in the stands. There was apparently a ton of fights.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's different though,
we're still going to have our away presence. In fact, probably even more now that like all these Bay Area fans, like, they can't just like take the BART to the game anymore. They're like, fuck that. I'm going to Denver. I'm going to beat somebody up like Randy Marsh from South Park. Like, training for his little league game. Rocky soundtracks in the background.
Yeah,
dude. I went to a Chiefs game in December. It was years ago, like early 2000s.
Yeah,
and I had to fight my way out of there, dude. We're like literally close your eyes and like Lisa Simpson windmill your arms and just try to bust through and get out of there. Like, the zombie apocalypse. If you stop, you're dead. You gotta keep moving.
Yeah.
Women, kids, just Soto, just head down. Just
fuck them. Stay out of my way. I'm not hard to miss. You better fucking see me coming because you're gonna get rolled over.
Because Mr. Calm, Cool, and Collected Soto was the victim, I'm sure, in that situation. He's like, oh no. All he did was stab 3 guys in a Chiefs jersey, and they came after me. What a bunch of jerks! I can't believe these guys.
Allegedly.
All right, make sure you check him out on the silverandbackpride.com and of course the Tape Don't Lie podcast. Rory, I think, finds that on Pornhub. His name's Marcus Johnson, one of the best in the business. Thanks for coming on, Marcus.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys.